Hi guys, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Mike.
This is the Disney for Couples podcast. It's a sister podcast to our website, disneyforcouples.com. We talk about everything you'd want to know about traveling to Disney World as an adult couple, as an adult with friends, whatever. The important thing is we don't talk about stroller parking, kids' meals, height requirements, nothing like that here. It's your hub of information for everything related to Disney adults.
Yeah.
Because why?
Because Disney is no place for child.
That's right. Disney is no place for kids.
For a single child.
Right. Well, that's true.
Right.
There should not be a single child
That's a code
by
item.
themselves. Right. That's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What are we talking about today?
So today on our lovely little podcast, I wanted to talk about Walt Disney World. Well, really any Disney parks or parks and resort construction.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's always somewhere.
it's always somewhere. It's planned well in advance. So especially if you're booking a vacation, 6 months to a year out, typically you can go on either to Disney sites or to other sites that will list when a certain resort or when a certain attraction is going to be under construction.
Mm-hmm. For the record, I think that Disney Food Blog has a lot of good updates on construction.
Yes.
Disney Food Blog isn't just food anymore. They do a ton of news, and their website always, very often covers construction. So does WDWNT.
Yes. And WaltDisneyWorldMagic.com is another good resource.
Yeah, and if you're booking a resort, the Walt Disney World website will tell you
Right.
if it's going to be under construction. That's why, when we were booking our beach club resort, we waited until the end of the year because we didn't want to go when the pool was under construction.
Right.
Right. Well, you're always super interested in the construction. When we were there last time and we took the monorail into Epcot, which we don't usually do, you were enthralled with the sky high view of everything behind the scenes.
And actually, that's going to be part of the main belly of the segment that we're getting into here, because I wanted to talk about Disney construction in terms of pros and cons. And that is a major pro for me and people like us who are genuinely interested in what's happening behind those walls, what new structure is being built, what new attraction is going in, what are they doing to a beloved classic. And there's always a decent amount of that going on in any Disney park at any given time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Tim Tracker's really interested in it too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times he won't necessarily do a video about about the construction, but he always will try to see if he can see the construction.
Right.
And see what's going on.
Yeah. And another another pro, I should say, is that Disney does a pretty good job at theming the construction areas.
I know. It's really cute how they theme a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, right now what was Muppet Courtyard is no more. And if you go walk over there, it's going to be, a Monsters, Inc. land, and they have a big Mike and Sully sign out front with a description. I think the concept art is there too. It may or may not be, but
yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, but they'll do stuff like that. I remember when Tiana's Bayou Adventure was being built, they had almost advertisements for her restaurant, or was it something like that?
Yeah, and I think they had food, the stamps you would get on a food shipment, stuff like that. That was really cutely themed. I know the Imagineers really, they don't leave anything, forgotten, and even that is well done.
Yeah, and when you're in the parks, there's a little more effort put into it, I feel, than when they're working on a resort. And, it is what it is. When there was a period of time where they were working on that new Polynesian vacation club wing for a long time, and it was very visual.
Yeah, it's a little more obtrusive. I don't think they go through the same lengths to cover up the workspace and they don't theme it. I mean, there really isn't any much theming that they could do.
Yeah.
You know, I think they try to kind of keep it like in the Grand Floridian construction in the lobby, those walls were unpleasant and took up a lot of space, but they really covered up what they were doing, which I think Disney's really good at. You sometimes, if you ever see like an aerial view of the work, you can't believe how much is going on, and you can't see or hear any of it from
most of the
outside the walls.
Yeah.
So they really do a good job of, you know, kind of like when you're walking around and there's those walls and they say like, oh, we're working on something great. You kind of, to me, it's like there's nothing back there. It's like a blank space. It's going to magically turn into something. You really don't realize how much like machinery and materials are hidden.
Well, that was actually going to be one of the cons, was that, you know, sometimes it's rather unpleasant to look at, especially at a resort.
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, I go back to, it is what it is. You should, you know, probably know well in advance that that's going to be happening, so you won't be utterly surprised by, you know, the obtrusion when you are there.
Can I tell you my favorite construction that they've done, that they cover? My favorite construction covering up that they've ever done?
Yes.
When they were working on the train station in Walt Disney World, which I think they were working on it like during COVID because we went there so many times before it was done, because any of the work that was like happening when COVID started took forever to finish. Like all that Epcot work, we went many times, and the first time Mike and I ever went to Disney World was during the height of COVID. The vaccines weren't out yet. There was distancing. There were masks outside. It was legit like COVID scary time.
COVID zone. Yep.
One of the only times we've ever gone and ironically not gotten sick, probably because of all the distance. But those projects that were started then, they just took really, really long to like restart and to finish. And so to go back to what I was saying, my favorite construction cover up was the train station, because they had this like overlay on the train station that looked just like the train station.
That was cool.
And from afar, you're kind of like, what am I looking at? Like, is that? I just thought it was such a cute way to do it, because you can see the train station from outside the entrance of the park. So like it really matters what you're looking at when you're about to walk in. And I thought that was a clever way to cover up the work but retain the visuals you're looking at instead of just a wall. And
I think they do that with like their iconic structures. Like even in Fake Italy, the main tower, you know, that was scrimmed in a likeness of the tower for the whole time, that, because I think it's they just finished that recently.
Okay. Yeah, maybe like the things that are really big, like visual landmarks.
Right. You wouldn't put 400-foot green scrim walls around Tower of Terror.
Yeah. Do you know the name of that color green that they paint those things?
I did at one point.
Go away green.
Something funny.
Yeah, it's like a clay green kind of, that is just supposed to like be so nothing that you ignore it, and it's called Go Away Green, and you'll see it on like the show buildings sometimes the walls.
If you're ever like hanging out over by Haunted Mansion, there are several angles where you can stand and see behind the main mansion facade, and the building that's back there, the warehouse, has that green paint job.
You know, before we started going together, it never occurred to me, I'm not kidding, not once, that what you're looking at, the ride show building, is not what you're in when you're on the ride.
That's convincing.
I just like 100% bought in to like, that's the ride. That's what you're showing me.
Right.
And the whole thing takes place in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
until
it's
you started
convincing.
talking about the show building and the like ride building and all of that. It just, I would have never even thought of it.
So, amidst our back and forth, I think we kind of touched on like one main pro and one main con. So, I kind of want to drill through what we have here for the rest.
Okay.
So another pro, which is like a pro light, is remember when Epcot was under construction forever, they had signage to direct you around the park, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Those big black walls, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like that, at least for what it was at the time, the fact that we had to deal with the walls, because that was a very like large Epcot obstacle. And the signage that they put up, like the colored signage on the black walls, was useful.
It was also a time when they were changing Epcot.
Yes.
So the world were becoming different world names, and like Guardians of the Galaxy was new, and there was the Moana thing that was going up, and it was like in flux. So those walls, they were like in the center of Epcot, basically. And it was so disorienting. Now, I've been to Epcot countless times in my life. The layout has never changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all, I mean, there have been things that have changed, but like it's basically been the same
Right.
my whole life getting around it wise. Those walls were so disorienting that we went to Disney and Epcot so many times when those walls were up, and so many times per vacation because we're such Epcot lovers. I never got used to them.
Yeah,
I could never
same.
figure out where we were.
Yep.
Because they were so high that they blocked your view.
Yep.
And you just like I just could not figure out where we were or how to get to where we wanted to go. So the signage with the directions was absolute. And even with the directions, sometimes it was like, well, I thought I was walking in the right direction, but I haven't seen a sign in, 100 steps.
Yeah.
And like, now I think I'm turned around again.
Yeah. And I believe those walls, a lot of them have like lighting built into them too.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think the black walls at Epcot had like LED lighting here and there to help illuminate the pathways.
Do you remember when we went with my family and they were up, and it was like kind of disappointing because like my brother and my parents hadn't been to Epcot in a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we went, that was the trip that we did almost back-to-back trips. We were back within like a matter of weeks, just me and you.
Right.
And they were all down and everything
yeah.
was different, and it was all like beautifully newly redone. And I remember
do.
saying to Andy, like, they're already down.
Right,
It's already different.
Another pro might be that if you're traveling to Disney World at a time of year where a certain hotel is going to be having, some work done or some significant work done, the room availability might be better. I don't necessarily think the pricing will be better. I wish it were.
I think they do.
You do?
I think, now I'm not 100% positive, but I remember hearing that sometimes they discount the room rates.
And that's cool. If they do, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if it's enough of a discount. Sometimes those more like expensive resorts, the discount still creates a really pricey room that you're paying for with like noise. Right. Which true. I still don't think would be worth it.
True. Yeah. Well, that's a good mirroring of there's all the pros, and that was a good mirroring into this con, which is that, if you're planning on being at a Disney hotel and you know that there's going to be construction sound, it doesn't matter that that it's going to happen at a certain time or start at a certain time. You're still on vacation, so having to like be woken up by construction sound, if you don't have to be, is rather unfortunate.
Yeah, especially for people like us who like to sleep late. If you're up and out
exactly what I was
and in
thinking.
the park all day, it might not matter that much, but we like sleep late. We spend a lot of time at the hotel, so that would really like be a vacation ruiner. When we were in Disney World a few months ago in May, the hotel we stayed at, Bonnet Creek, which is on Disney property, even though it's not a Disney hotel, they were doing construction in the parking lot where we were like in our parking lot for our building, and it was annoying.
It
like
was awful.
You could hear it, you could smell it, you could smell the asphalt.
Yeah,
we couldn't go on the porch because it was so loud and smelly. So
we had to walk around the lot a lot if we wanted to
our
walk
car,
around.
We had to take our car to the car wash once or twice because of all the like the work created all these like, what was that? It was like tar on the car.
Well, yeah, and I wouldn't expect that you'd see that at Disney.
No, but if it's ugly or if it's loud and you know, sometimes something as simple as like, well, I can't sit on my porch every morning and have my coffee. You know, when you're paying $800 a night for a room, at some of those nicer hotels, that really matters.
Oh yeah, and also too, it can affect like some of the entertainment spaces at the hotels. Like, you know, we planned our beach club trip around when Stormalong Bay was gonna be back.
Because that's like the big pool there.
Right, and that under construction, I think I saw pictures, or we both saw pictures, is like really jarring,
really ugly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to walk around. You know, and
right.
That's not like being spoiled. That's just like, you know, if you have the flexibility to change your trip, if you can avoid something like that, I always like to kind of get the most convenience out of the trip to like really be able to appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. So I've got 2 main cons left, and I think that you're going to relate to the first one a lot.
Okay.
It's bottlenecking. I think that for the most part, Disney does a good job at filtering, you know, crowd traffic when those construction walls are up, but sometimes there's nothing you can do about there being a bottleneck of people, and when it's hot in Florida and there's a bottleneck at Disney Springs by the ice cream place or whatever.
That was the worst.
Yeah, that was my like go-to example.
On Christmas.
Yeah, no less. What's the name of that ice cream place?
Salt and Straw. But when those bottlenecks occurred there, that wasn't even like open yet, or it was just opening. There was a lot of stuff in that section. That's a bottleneck anyway.
Right. And then go ahead.
By the food. So like for anybody who doesn't know exactly what we're talking about, in Disney Springs, it's like the kind of the pathway that would go to Cirque du Soleil. It's where Salt and Straw is, where like around where CityWorks is, and the M&M store and the food trucks and the Star Wars store. It's just narrow there. And they were working on, is it Summer House?
Maybe.
I always mix it up with the new one on the boardwalk. But the place that has the cookie bar?
Yeah, Summer, I know what you're talking about.
That was being built. Yeah. And they had those walls up for a really long time. And it made it even more like stifling.
Yes. And in the parks, like when Epcot was under construction, I don't remember that being as much of an issue. But I mean, it's a guided path. There's not really like that kind of you go here-ness at the other parks when there's not a construction project. Yeah,
you can picture like, now Animal Kingdom isn't under construction a lot, but you can picture like a lot of those walkways in Animal Kingdom, if construction is going on, that they would be really narrow because they get kind of narrow.
Yeah, it's fortunate that Dinoland USA is kind of in it's kind of like in the back of the park. It's like its own little aisle. Like when you look at like a map, it's its own little island, and like that's good, because I feel like it would be much harder for guests and for them to do the Tropical Americas project if like they had crowds coming in and out all the time with an easy way to get to the next hub that you want to go to. Yeah, you're not walking through Dinoland to get to anything. Right. Yeah. Yep. And my final con is I wrote, your favorite things are dying or dead. Which, I mean... It's a very macabre way to say it, but yes. But, that's a fact. Not every Disney construction project is for something brand new, and a lot of the time, beloved attractions or areas of the park or areas of the hotels are drastically altered, and we're left with the walls until the new thing is there to spit in our face.
Yeah, it's like, sometimes the construction is just like, there's this old building that's been sitting there and we're going to turn it into something new. It hasn't been anything. Or like we're creating new paths, or we're like building a new ride where there wasn't a ride. And so the train, like when they built Tron, like, and the train couldn't go, the tracks couldn't go past where they would normally pass. So it was like changed and down, and it's like, this is just something new. But when there's something being replaced, there's just something so sad about like kind of like looking at this wall, at this non-area that used to be something you loved. And like, I saw the other day an aerial view of the Muppets,
the gift shop
that hasn't been open in a long time. That hasn't been open for years, demolished. And it's just like so sad.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's such a visual, kind of like depressing visual of like this something that you loved,
but
that's gone.
Walt said it himself that like the parks would always be expanding and progressing, and true to his word, they are, and not all of those changes are going to be changes that everyone agrees with.
Yeah, I actually really like it when the Imagineers swing and miss. I love the trying, like kite tails in Animal Kingdom. Like, I love the effort, and I like, there's just something about the like effort and it not working out that is such a good reminder that they're like, for as wonderful and creative as this company is, there are things that sound good in theory and like don't work out as well as you think, but that doesn't really make them a bad idea. And I think it's good for all of us to remember that like, even brands and individuals with like tons and tons of success, if they're going to kind of try something new, like sometimes it's not going to work out, and like, that's fine. And it happens to everybody, and it's part of the creative process. And like, I really respect the failures that Disney has had. And like, even when you go back and you watch Walt Disney speaking on opening day at Disneyland, and like,
what a mess.
In some of his, like when we were watching the thing the other day and he was introducing Epcot and he said the name wrong.
Yeah.
He called it the experimental prototype city of tomorrow. And then the next time, like, corrected himself.
Yeah.
I love it. It just reminds you, like, things don't have to be perfect to be great.
Yeah. That's a wonderful point.
Thank you.
Are you ready for your Disney news of the week?
Yep.
Okay. So, the Beak and Barrel, the Pirates of the Caribbean themed sit-down restaurant or
lounge or something. Yeah.
It is going to open officially on August 29th.
So soon.
Yep. And you can begin making your reservations on August 14th. And on Disney's website, they strongly suggest that you do so.
Yeah, actually, I think we're going to try to do it.
That was a WDWmagic.com post that I read about that said, like, get your reservations made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've just been totally tuned out to the news of this place. I did not know what to expect. I didn't know if it was like another quick service place. I'm sure that people were informed. This just so completely went over my head.
That's kind of cool, though.
We'd never
it's
even
like a big surprise for
been
you.
There, like to that
little whatever it was. Yeah, that was like a quick service place.
Yeah, and the other day before you told me, because now you can see the menus online, and you read me some of the stuff that sounded great. They have released the photos, and it's just so cool looking.
It's really cool looking, and the menu. I was saying this to you the other day. It reminds me a lot menu-wise of Oga's.
Yeah.
It seems like kind of an elevated hang-around bar experience with some really cool cocktails and specialty drinks and some cool food. And the theming looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's like Oga's. It's like unapologetically themed.
Yes.
It's like, this is the theme. You're going to buy in or you're not.
Right.
And they have their cocktail menu has a couple things that I love that usually you only find one or none of these things on the cocktail menu, and that's smoked cocktails, and spicy cocktails.
Right.
And the menu has a number of both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I definitely want us to go check it out as soon as possible.
Maybe we'll be lucky enough to go in October after our cruise.
Maybe we'll get in ever, you know? We're still not allowed at Space 220.
We have never, ever been able to get reservations at Space 220. We got them one time. I don't even know if you know this, because it was when we went with the whole family.
Was that when you signed up for that like service?
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to remember the name of that service and put it in the show
People
notes.
would really get use out of that.
Because we've used a couple of them, but this one was better.
Well, explain what it was.
It was an app that will basically make the booking for you. So like they will check constantly for the reservations you want and make the reservations on your behalf, and then like let you know when they're made. It was the only time we ever got reservations at Space 220, but I don't remember what happened. I think we needed reservations for 6, but because the lounge only does like up to 4, we had to do 2 reservations of 3.
But like the service worked.
The service worked. But but it only was able to book one of the 2 reservations we needed. And then on top of that, I think that was the day that we left Epcot early because of the roller coaster fiasco, the Guardians of the Galaxy situation. What my niece went on it and did not like it at all. And we had to like leave the park because she was kind of like feeling like a little like
discombobulated.
Off. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but that's the only time we just cannot get into that place. There is never, ever a reservation.
I know. I don't get it.
I think we have to do the walk up, but like, I never think of that when we're there. Yeah. We're always like doing other stuff.
I'm also like not interested enough. I would be happy to go and like hang out at the lounge.
Yeah. That's all I want to do. I've heard the food isn't that great. It's very pricey.
Yeah. You know, it has to be a perfect blending of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day
we'll get there.
When it's less popular.
Yeah. So I have a little wrap-up question for us today.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
This is pure fantasy, whatever your brain can conjure.
Okay.
What new Disney Parks store would you open, and at what park? She's thinking.
I would open a vintage store at Hollywood Studios.
Ooh, and like what kinds of stuff would they sell?
Products from the vault. So like products. So now there are a lot of like current merch items that look like they're items from the 70s or the 80s or the 90s. They're like throwback designs. But I would open a store that actually has merch from the past.
Okay.
So like whether it's merch that Disney has kept in their warehouses or that Disney like buys from like vintage sellers or something, like I would want that kind of stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, that's my answer.
That's your answer?
And Hollywood Studios feels like the perfect place for
Totally. That's the perfect place for it. I have kind of a lame answer.
No.
It's kind of lame. I would want there to be a full-on dedicated Mickey Mouse store.
Oh, I love it. That's not a lame answer.
I just feel like
it's a great answer. I'm shocked they don't have that.
I feel like it's missing, and I would love for it to be like this grand place that's a celebration of Mickey through the ages, and you know, you can get stuff styled after Disney of the 20s all the way up to present day, and I feel like they could do some really cool theming with that kind of place. As far as where it would go, I actually think if they did something really, really cute with Mickey, where they were like, Mickey's a ringleader guy, they could put it in Storybook Circus. They'd have a lot of room. and it could be good.
Okay, I'm going to take your Mickey store and raise you a land.
Please.
I want Storybook Circus to be turned into like
Mickey Town?
Mickey Land.
Ooh, I love it.
And if they don't, which they won't, I think that a great place for a Mickey Mouse themed shop would be Toontown in Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
Would that be perfect?
Totally. Yep. Well, we answered the fun question of the week, and that leads us to the part where we say goodbye.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Check us out at DisneyForCouples.com and go shopping for Disney Parks inspired stickers at MagicalStickerShop.com. And remember to stay young at heart like Walt would want.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.